So a lot is said about the boy child. Boy child this, boy child that, boy child, boy child, boy child, boy child and ABD. I don't think it's all true. I think there are some men who are really, 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 really trying. There are some men who are really, really responsible. There are some, I'm pro boy child, by the way. That doesn't mean that I am against the girl child. But boy child has it rough. It's not easy being a boy child, you know. Kwanza vile mali maisha imefika, it's not easy being a boy child. So if you're a lady in a man's life, that man could be your brother, that man could be your father, that man could be your cousin, a neighbor, a co-worker. I think just check in with the man. How are they doing? Could be a grandfather. Just how are they doing? How is life? And just try to hear them out. If they need a shoulder or an ear, try to be that ear. Try to be a positive spot in that man's life. Of course, watching boundaries, because depending on what that man is in your life, of course, even as you support that man, you need to watch boundaries ndio kusipitanike sana. You know, give a boy child a hug. Boy child goes through rough spaces. I mean, I've met I've met men who have tried to, even in marriage, sometimes they're blamed for this and the other thing. But I also know that even us ladies, tunaweza piga boy child saa zingine character development, ingine mbaya, ingine noma sana. And these things are there. I'm sure you know a case or two, you know. So give a boy child a hug sometimes. Just listen to them. Not all of them are irresponsible. Not all of them are negative. Not all of them are, all those negative things said about a boy child. I mean, I even meet men who are raising their children alone. And they're amazing fathers. I know men who are raising children who are not their own. Yes, and they're doing an amazing job with that. So I think sometimes we don't give men the credit that is due sometimes. But there are amazing men out there, and I don't think, let's not give up on a boy child. So a man may have done you wrong, doesn't mean that all of them will do you wrong. A man, you could have had a bad experience with one man, doesn't mean that the next one will automatically be a bad experience. And don't let the next man in your life pay for another man's mistakes. So I think, have an open mind, give a boy child, let me not stop calling them boy child, give a man a chance, hear them out. Some of them are so amazing, even in mentorship, but we just don't give them credit, or we don't support them enough. Some of them are actually, they may be silent, they may not be people who speak as much, but they have a lot of wisdom. Look around you, look around your family, around your workmates. There are people who are actually very solid. There are men who are very solid and have very solid advice and have been through life. I enjoy the company of older people generally, whether they are women or men, because I find they have such wisdom. But when you sit with, there are library of life. There's things sometimes even as a daughter you could be struggling with. And when you go sit with it could be a male issue. But if you sit with a man to help you understand, to just hear their perspective, they may actually have very interesting perspective, interesting advice to be able to just, and when you talk with them, every time I sit with an older person, a lady or a man, they have this sobering and relaxing way of looking at things. The things that you thought were very bad or very difficult, they have a way of there's a way they look at life where things are not always a crisis. And when you speak with them, it's so therapeutic. So I think let's support a man that's in your life. And I hail and I celebrate the brave men who actually raise children who are not their own. It's not easy. Your family will say things, your close relatives will say things, but you have braved it to actually take a single lady with a child and raise that child. My goodness, you're strong and you're brave. I have met men who are holding the fort for their families, educated their siblings, improved their parents' lives, taking care of their parents, their siblings. You're a brave man, and don't let negativity spoil it. I think keep going. You're a blessed person, and God will reward you. I have seen men who stand in the gap even for children who are not their own. And they have stood with people and they mentor young ladies, young men who are not their children, who are not their siblings. but we don't celebrate those men enough. I think you're brave and you're heroes, and we need you guys in our lives, even for a form of protection. You know, even as a lady who is dating, there's just a way even men in your life behave around you when they realize, there is a brother here that is next to this sister is not alone. You know, this lady comes from a family. She has a brother or a father or a cousin. You know, there is something that male presence in our lives does to people who are around us. So come close to us, be around us, just brave it. Sometimes even if we were dating and you see something, because you're a man, you're able to see something that I can't see perhaps, because me, I'm blinded by love. But you as a man, there's things you're able to see through that I may not be able to see through. Tell us those truths even if we don't want to hear them, but stand in the gap and stand for us. So today I celebrate you. I celebrate men. I celebrate those brave men who are responsible, those brave men who are doing amazing things in their lives, who are standing in the gap for other people. I celebrate you. I think you deserve to be celebrated, and we may not give you credit enough, but I celebrate you.